Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Sulman Rahim here, Master of the Covenant. Bring us 7 seals. Okay, brothers and sisters, I have somewhat a special presentation. Early one, a short one. Well, I always say it's short, but never is. Talk about Magalu. Short critique of Sunday forecast. Then we talk this thing about Amalek. They talk about Amalek over in false Israel. Then the Levites. Okay. Oh, I see I got one issue here. Hold on. Again. That's on me. Forgot to check it. Boy, I tell you. Just 1 second, brother, since I forgot something, so take 1 second to correct it. Okay, almost there. Last video. Okay, there you go. Okay. So a short critique of Sunday, and then Amalek's, then Levites. Oh, still not showing us. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Something's real wrong here. What happened? Why does it show there? I don't know what happened here. Let me try it again. Okay, there you go. Don't happen there. Okay, it's good to go now. Now, there's a couple of things they focus on Sunday. I mean, really focus on it, right? About a promise. They said shouldn't rely on people that can't keep their promise. What promise? See, you got to hang these together because they weren't detailed. So keep your word. Keep word about what? Who are you talking to? And we shouldn't tell lies to each other. And we should unity work on getting things happening here. So just on those are 4 main topics, I believe. I don't think I forgot anything. But when you analyze, you put it together. See? Because he's not, you shouldn't rely on people that can't keep their promise. What promise? Like it's not realistic, right? He's on the promised land. See, because their idea is we're not going anywhere. That's their idea. So somebody keep telling you, giving you a promise they know they can't keep. In other words, the messenger covenant that is what the purpose of the messenger covenant is, right? To come and tell you about the promised land. That's what the covenant is, a promise. It's more than a promise, actually, because it's from God. And His word is bond, and bond is life. That was the other thing, right? Bond is, one word, that's come back to one word, right? So they're directing it at me, because he's talking about this promised land. He know he can't deliver that. You got to make it happen here. That's where the work here, unity, come in at, right? We got to stop telling lies to each other. That means, because he wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't affecting what they're doing over there and affecting negatively, or he wouldn't be reacting to it. See? Because he's defending, but he can't come out directly because he don't want to expose himself. So he's talking in general, and you're supposed to understand what he's talking about. Because who gave you a word? Why people that gave a word? How people didn't give him no word? Who gave a word? So he's talking about the people that's in there said they were Farrakhan. That was according to him, that's their word. So you got to stick with Farrakhan because you gave your word. Really? It's nothing about the word means you have to keep a word, right? If it's compromise, you give your word. I give my word. My word is bond, and bond is life. And I give my life before my word will fail, and I've lived by that. Everybody knows me. I live by it. If I give my word, I'm there, right? But if I go out and give my word, right, then man, when you come up, man, I mean, it's kind of weak one, right? Man, he offered me dinner, man. You gonna eat what? Yeah, man, I give my word, man. Whatever. See, but I'm thinking this is cool. He got a whole lot of pork. I ain't got to keep my word on that. Eat that. See, if you learn because if you was deceived, if the person deceived you, like Farrakhan's son of a devil, they deceive him, tell him he's the Messiah, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna defend him no matter what." That's based on your word is based on something, that he's the Messiah, and so you gave your word based on a fact. So when you give your word, you're based on, it's like a contract. You say, I give my word, so it's a two-way street. You're gonna give me this, I give you this. So in other words, for whatever you give me, my word is what I'm contributing to this thing. And what you're contributing is something that I get for giving my word. You see what I'm saying? Because you don't just, I'm gonna give my word for no reason. I give my, okay, like I told my daughter, when she was, before she graduated, I told her, I said, when she graduate high school and everything, right? I gave her my word, I would get her a car. I'd buy her a car. Well, I didn't say I'd get her a car. I hope I didn't say buy her a car, because then I got in trouble. But I'm pretty sure I said get her a car, right? And I did, I got her a new car. But my situation was such that I just come back from Demon Island, had no money. Anybody know that story? I have no money. And because they threw me in jail and I couldn't access my accounts and stuff, right? And at that time I was dealing with Bank of America, and boy, they bad news. Because and so the money I did have, what they did was like, and some banks do this, right? I'm gonna see if I get this right. I had, money in there, and I had some, like you had some automatic deductors, stuff like that kind of stuff, right? But I couldn't stop it because they had me locked up. So what happened was, let me try to give you an example. Okay, say for instance, you got $1,000 in the bank, right? And you got these bills coming in, and they total up, right? How do you do that? Okay, so what they did was, so in other words, you got this bill bill for $100, another bill for $200, another bill for $300, whatever, right? Got a bill $800, right? So the thing is, I couldn't put any more money in the bank and everything else, right? So what they did was, is that the smaller bills, they put the bigger bill first, like with $800 or whatever. It was actually the last one. They put it first. So that maybe have overdraft on all the rest of them. Well, if they did it in the order they came in, like $100, all of them got paid, except that maybe the last one might not get paid. But the $100, $200, but I put it $900 first, I have enough money to pay the rest of them. So they destroyed my account, and then when I got out, then they came in. Oh, that's what it was. I got it right now. What it was, there was enough money to cover everything. But by doing the way they did it, called overdraft fees, so it started taking money away. And so therefore it wasn't enough to cover everything. So therefore they closed the account and all this stuff, and then they gave me a big hand. I never deal with them again. I said, oh yeah, if you put the accounts money as they came in, we wouldn't have this problem. But you do something in overdraft, you put it in there, and the overdraft, right? That with the overdraft caused everything else to overdraft fee, whatever. I think I'm getting, but it's basically it went that way. So I'm saying I'm not getting exactly right, but you understand what I'm saying. And they got a habit of doing that. Bank of America is bad with that, because I said, why you flip it around? Why don't you just do the smaller ones first? The worst could have happened, I would have been an overdraft on one bill. That's the worst could have happened. But you had me overdraft for all of them. And then what happened was, oh, that's what it was. Okay, that's what it was. I have money automatically coming in. So it would have covered everything. I forgot that part. It would have covered everything. See, I had these automatic bill payments, right? But I also had, because then I got retirement fund, I got other things, right? And so I had money that would come in every month, right? So if they had done it the other way, everything had been covered. But by putting the big one up there first, right? They put it for the money that came in that would have balanced it. Because if they did it on time, the money would have came in and would covered everything. The way they did it, and they told me I owed them about $300 or $400 overdraft fees, all that kind of stuff, man, So anyway, the bottom line is, the money I did have, it was gone, right? And I would have had a few, So, and when the automatic money did come in, right? Because I said I get on a monthly basis. I forget, it was a while back, about a week or whatever. Because I get from different things I had from my own business where I had like things coming in, Anyway, so when I came in, I think it was like $1,000, something like there. Right? Okay. And like I said, they had took some of that because overdraft fees and stuff. So I got out of there. So when I went to another bank, so I had transferred there. So I think I had about $1,000 something like there. Right? That's all the money I had in my life. Well. And I was getting ready to get a contract, and I was working on getting the contract. I had something set up, and so she came up and said, "Time to get the car." Like, if she was the age, that's all I was gonna get it. I said, "Well, last $1,000 went down there and got a car. I paid the down payment on it, and got a car, brand new car." And now I was totally broke. I didn't come say, "Well, I don't have the money right now. Can you wait till I don't know?" I told her I was gonna do it, and that's what I did. There was no hiccups, no speed bumps. Because anybody knows me, most people don't like me, but they know that if they say my word is bond, they know they can trust me. It's different. People don't have to like you if they can trust you. A lot of people that people like, they don't trust. But everybody knows me, trust me. Right? Most of them don't like me, but they know my word is bond. I say something, that's it. Right? Okay. So they saying, okay, that's what they're saying. You gave your word to Pharaoh and got to stick with him. So that's the they tell. He said, if you read the bottom line there, you understand they're in trouble over there, because that's the whole thing's about. Tell me, you got to keep your word. You got to keep. And you stop telling lies to each other. Oh, y'all telling lies to each other over there? Why y'all telling lies to each other? They ain't talking about outside the box, it's inside the box. See? We got to work here. We got to work in unity and make things happen. They ain't happen by themselves. So in other words, nothing happened over there. They ain't working together, and they lying to each other, and they ain't keeping the word because they falling away from Pharaoh. They falling away. You believe that? Who the Lord will consume and spit out his mouth and destroy the brightness that was coming. Right? And that promise, you're doing this because of a promise. He know he can't keep that promise. That's the message of the covenant again. He know he can't get y'all out of here and get y'all home. That's the whole that. You put it together. That's what he was saying. It took me a while because I said, what are they talking about? Why are you talking this word? Keep talking word. They never explained it. Who gave you what word? Right? And what's his promise? What promise are you talking about? They never said the promises. They can't keep the promise. What promise? You already said what the promise is you can't keep. And we lie each other about what? See? So I'll move on with that, brothers and sisters. You know. They're in trouble over there. I know it's in trouble. You're gonna find them in it. Some of you are gonna be shocked. You'll be caught off guard, and really it's gonna cause you a problem. Because those people that are supporting him right now, especially if they heard any of this, they supporting him, and they better be able to explain. See, you can't get up and just say shit. The angel tells you that. The last thing you can't, and the Bible tells you that. Even the Quran tells you that. But they got this running their mouth. All they got to do is read. Did you read the Bible? Oh, well, the Bible's correct. Then why are you telling us to believe in Farrakhan? You say that's your verification. He's a validity. That's the way he verified. Yes, the Bible says it. But he said the Bible's corrupt. Like Farrakhan says. Everyone's all are not good. No, not one. But he says all humanity. Well, that includes him too, doesn't it? See, and no good either. That's what it means. It's not what the letters say. But you see what I'm saying? They shouldn't be talking. Because they don't know what they're talking about. And they can't prove what they're saying. That's why it says Islam is mathematics and mathematics Islam. That's what it tells you. Elijah Muhammad told you, don't be out there saying anything. Malcolm tried that trick about calling white folks, call them devils, and why should you can't just go say anything. We're going to talk about that a little more in a minute. And they're going to pay for that. Or they're going to pay big time. Especially right now with the fulcrum is, I talked about that yesterday, but I'm not going to go into that today. They're going to pay big time. Because if you're asking, okay, can you prove anything you said? If you didn't, why was you saying it? If you can't prove what you were saying, why was you saying it? They did. And they said, well, people use blocking the light that could save people. How are you going to explain that one? Because you didn't, because what you did, so how should we hold you account for that? People see, this message is the lifeline to our people. And they gave it to me. Why did they give it to me? I asked. Because they say they use worthy. So you don't see anybody teach me anything, anybody standing behind me, checking me and everything, because they looked, they says, this person will take care of this message. Because if they did get, would you give your baby to anybody? So you make sure you checked it out. So you have to be confident that person going to do, just like it says in chapter 19, it says, Master Muhammad was rated faithful and true. So they checked him out. They knew he'd be faithful. Because remember, we put everything in his hand for 6,000 years. He's out of dispensation of Adam. He's not an Adam, right? But I explained I'm not going, right? Because Adam had ruled for 12,000 years. But we can't allow another 6,000 years of his mess. Right? So we got to come to somebody in that dispensation, so to speak, because his mother on his side is Dr. Shia, his rabbi. They're Caucasian on their mother's side, right? So, but they're original. So that's what I shouldn't use that word dispensation. I gotta find a better word, but that's what I'm saying. So it's still under the cloud of Adam, because they had it for 12,000 years. Because we won't come out into that probation for another 6,000 years. We're coming out of it now. But won't come out to the point where we can take control of the whole planet. Can't do it. We don't have enough energy to do it yet. Control ourselves, control our nation, control our country, right? But not control the whole planet, not control all the nations. Because it says Master Muhammad will rule all the nations right of mine. He'll rule, not us. We don't have enough power, energy to do it yet. Right? And it'll take another 6,000 years before we have enough. Muhammad said it, talked about it. He said Master Muhammad is a May God, and the tribe of Shabazz is the head tribe, and after he didn't say it lived the time, but he said at some point the kingdom be given back over to Dr. Shabazz. But Dr. Shabazz would give it to Ancient Days, would give it. Ancient Days, man, he would give it to Master Fard Muhammad. That's the Ancient Days, he'd give it to him. Okay, it's yours. You got it the next 6,000 years. Just like Adam was given to Adam. Adam, you got it. 6,000 years. Now, Master Muhammad, you got it the next 6,000 years. You see the pattern there? Okay. So, no, like I said, they had to know, say, worthy, that I would be true, not only, see, I had to find, well, I wasn't looking for the book. So I had to come in contact with the book. And they set up so that would happen. And I had to make sure that once I came in contact with it, I would get involved in the book. I would look in the book. I would solve the book. Right? I would give 100% to the book. They had confidence that because the person that gives it, they had to have confidence they was going to do that. Because that's our lifeline. So like I said, they had to have confidence in our women to save our nation. And that's why I'm not going hard on them. I'm not even think about going hard on them. Right? I'm standing behind 1%. There's very little they can do because they had to know. We knew going into deprivation had. They asked, they had to agree to it. It wasn't a force on them. And promises made to them that their honor would be restored. Right? But it was on them to save our nation. It was on them. That was their duty. They didn't even know it, but that was their duty. And the only thing they act on their nature, that means they love us, they love this nation because they did it out of their nature. Not out of their nature. It was their nature to save this nation. And so we see how they love their children, that kind of stuff. That's the same love that they gave to this nation. So we say, oh man, look, they emotional, that kind of stuff. You emotional too. But emotional is beautiful. Beauty is emotional. When you be making babies, that's all about emotions. Ain't about mathematics. It's mathematics to it. You don't understand the mathematics. But all that, that's all emotional. And it's definitely emotional on your side. So how emotional they are, because you know how excited you get, and that's intellectual. You did a calculation, and all of a sudden now you ready to take care of business? No. In fact, that's a lot of it is totally emotional because you know what you was doing. All you know is that, man, you was responding. You wasn't using his head. We got to clean this up, brothers and sisters. But anyway, the sisters save our nation. Period. Case closed. because the devil was raping them. And they had to sneak. They tell you the history. They had to sneak to have sex with a man. The only time they let the men do is they had this sex, what they call them, sex farms or whatever. They call them breeding farms to be more slaves. But they would go behind. They got tortured. They got killed and everything. They would find out about it. They was sleeping with a black man without master permission. See, you never heard this from anybody. Off women or anything. He ain't with anybody. They saved our nation. And we know we depend on them to do it. And so we knew, the scientists knew, right? Their emotion, and I had a problem with that too. I had two demon wives. They were emotional, man. They used to kill me. I hate all that. And my wife now, man, she's cool. She's cool, calm and collected, boy. Sometimes does she have any emotion? But she's real calm and collected, and I love it because, I mean, there's no surprise, no stress. You know, when she was younger, it was a little every now and then. Right? Just a little, even when she was younger, right? She was always cool. You know, I never saw, you know, because I can't have any, I'm not making any critique on this or whatever, right? But before her, all the women I ever met was all emotional. Very emotional. I'm not saying all women are emotional, but it's just the ones. But obviously it ain't because she's not. I mean, she's emotional with her children and everything else, but I'm just saying it's checked. Right? Okay. Anyway, they saved our nation, period. And so we had to know that they would do that. Because, right? So we know our women to that extent. And they're good hearted, they're pure, they're beautiful. They're definitely beautiful, and they're definitely pure hearted. And they love us. But you make it hard for them to love us by the way we act. I explained it all the day. I'm not going to that now, right? But you take care of their needs and they respond. But you got the devil taking them, now they love the devil. They supplying their needs. That makes sense. So now they love Jesus. And you sit at the table, right? And you don't get it. You sit at the table and you don't work, right? You don't work all day. And then they thank Jesus for the food on the table. They should be doing that. See, but the problem is how you sit at that table. You sit at the table, are you Abdul Rahman? Right? Are you teaching them to love themselves? Are you teaching them to do for self? And we're original people. Are you teaching them? Or are you telling them, oh man, yeah, we gotta go up and get a job, man, and you gotta vote for Democratic, and you see what I'm saying? So therefore, you supply some of the needs, you put the food on the table. But the mental needs and everything else, you ain't got it, and you're gonna have to call me your name. Jim Jack and Bob. And there's Nancy Jack and Bob. See what I'm saying? So where they get all that from? They get that from Master. Who represents Master? Jesus. So that in the church. And they're supplying their needs. You only supply a little bit, just some food on the table. Maybe you might supply an apartment, or maybe she might be Section 8. And so they control the quality way. You got to live here, Section 8, right? You got food stamps, you can only buy this. Hope you understand. I'm going to move on, brothers and sisters. Okay. I explained that, so I just want to critique this shortly. I mean, in a short way, briefly. So maybe you get it, maybe you don't. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, I'm going to talk about this Amalek. But give me a short break here, brothers and sisters. I got to check something real quick. Only take a second. Well, a couple of seconds. He said a second. He's back in 5 seconds. Yeah, we got that. Hold on, brothers and sisters. 1 second here. Okay, brothers and sisters, this Amalek thing. Now, if you've been paying attention over there, they keep telling us Amalek. And they say that's what the Jews are applying the Amalek rule. And so we're going to show in the Bible what it says about Amalek. Right? And see, now you got to understand, Moses, Aaron, all those people, they didn't exist in the past. That's history now and in the future. Elijah Muhammad said, there was a Moses, but not the Moses in the Bible. He said the one that brought them out of the hills and caves of Europe. His name was Musa. Right? That's a whole different story. See, they have parallels, but when they talk about Moses and Aaron and Joshua, all those things are talking about now or in the future. Scriptures, right? That goes away. Now, because it was sealed. So it means it was sealed. That means you don't know what it was. So they say, well, because, when they had Begin, when he was the president of the prime minister or whatever, so far as Israel, right? And they made that peace agreement with Egypt when Sadat was president or whatever. And Begin went told Sadat, says, we found that we can be friends now, but since we was enslaved in Egypt. Sadat told him, we don't have no evidence of that. We have no knowledge of you ever being enslaved in Egypt, because it never was. And they've been combing the deserts over there for hundreds of years trying to find any evidence, because if they traveled through there to the deserts to the so-called Red Sea, there should have been some stuff in the, and archaeological stuff and everything, right? They didn't find out because it never happened. Remember that. But they saying, this amp says saying, well, if you read about Amalek, they say about something happened, so they respond to that. So let's look at what they're talking about Amalek. Let's go get into it here. Now, this book of Samuel, right? Samuel also says, Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to king over his people, over Israel, and therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Therefore said the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid waste for them in the way when he came up from Egypt. And now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all they have, and spare not, but slay both men, women, infant, suckling, and sheep. Destroy them all. Everything they have, just wipe them out, destroy it. Now see, that's what they're saying. They're saying they're doing what. But see, there's a lot of problems, because first of all, the Palestinians would have to be the Egyptians. See, because they claim that history belongs to them. So they're saying, they're doing Amalek, they're wiping children, women, everything, right? Because these people did that to them. No, Hitler did that to you, and you deserve it because he was paying you back for what you did to them. That's another story. He's saying, but that's what he's saying at times, And most of them know it's a lie, but that's what they trying to get control. So they probably, the media, like America, all this lies it tells is America's doing worse than they did over there. Yet them that's why they got to justify what they're doing, because America did 1,000 times worse to us. See? But it says destroy them all. So that's why they say justice. The Bible said supposed to destroy children, women, everything. It's wiping it all out. That's the whole thing about Amalek. Now, I don't know if anybody took time to read it. They said Amalek, whatever, we'll talk about that in a minute. But that's what that is. See? But Amalek now represents them and Gog. They write on the obituary. That's why I said it right on the obituary. Because it said do to them because they did what he did to you. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. There's three passages about Amalek that I was able to find. So Exodus. Then Amalek came and fought against Israel and I can't say these names. So Moses said to Joshua, remember Joshua and Jesus, same name, just different languages. Choose men for us and go out and fight against Amalek. Tomorrow I will station myself on the top of the hill and staff of God in my hand. Joshua did as Moses told him and fought against Amalek. And Moses, Aaron, and Hur went up the top of the hill. So it came about when Moses held his hand up, Israel prevailed, but when he let his hand down, Aaron prevailed. One day I'll break that down, bro. That's something else. I don't think Farrakhan's going to like it, right? Moses' hands, because in one case, and whose hands? Moses' hand, ain't it? Ain't he a hand? Is Farrakhan a hand? That's why they call brothers, because they the same hand in angel. It's getting a little probably too deep for everybody. But Moses let his hand down, see, when his hand was up, right, Israel prevailed. When his hand was down, Amalek prevailed. And Moses' hands were heavy. They took a stone and put it under him. He sat on it, and Aaron and Thur supported his hands, and one on the side, and one on one side, and the other side, other. His hands were steady until the sun set, and Joshua defeated Amalek. See, Joshua's defeated Amalek. It wasn't Aaron, it wasn't Moses. Joshua defeated him. Keep that in mind. And his people would defeat them all. Joshua did it. Rest of the covenant. Keep that in mind. We got another one here. Remember what Amalek did to you on the way when you came out of Egypt. That means this is what they're going to be doing to you. Remember, doing them as done to you while you're going through tribulation. This is what Amalek's going to be doing to you while you're going through tribulation. My there's going to be hell here. They're going to come after you. And how he confronted you on the way and tracked it and attacked among you all the stragglers in your rear when you were tired and weary, and he did not fear God. See, they were godless at that time. That's tribulation. That's what you go to tribulation. He attacked from the rear. Anybody was weak or whatever, they got hit. That's what he's saying. He confronted you on the way and attacked among you all the stragglers in your rear when you were tired and weary. See? These are the weak ones that ain't going to make it. Right? You got to read between the lines here. So it shall come about when your Lord God has given you rest and from all your surrounding enemies in the land which Lord your God has given you as inheritance to possess, that you should wipe out the mention of the name of Amalek from under heaven, and you must not forget. Now what's it talking about? It's talking about what he doing during tribulation. And once you're out of tribulation, destroy them, totally destroy them. Isn't that the same thing we're saying? Because once you're out, that's when, who's going to destroy them? Remember, you're out. And who tells you in chapter 17, Joshua inspired them, right? Gog and Magog to just wipe them out totally. So they would hate the harlot, just wipe her out. You see the connection here? But you got to put all these pieces together and understand what they're saying here. Right? So they think they're doing that over Saul's Israel here. That's going to happen to them and Gog and false Israel. Totally wiped out. Everything. Children, everything. That's what I told you the other day. It says if you back off, you show some emotion towards it, you're going to end up in the same boat they're in. Total wipe out. That's what it's saying here. But they claim that's what they're doing over there. See? But remember, it says that's what they did with you. So, remember I said that's why they write an obituary, because as you've done, so it should be done to you. So what they're doing over there, it's going to be done to them. So in a few more days, that war starts. So that's the Amalek thing, right? So you can study it on your own. Now we get to here. Resonance. I'm going to give you an example of resonance. Talking about Levites, Esau, and Jacob. Now remember, Levites, they come out of Esau. Levites, they're from Esau. Moses was a Levite. Right? I'm saying Master, I'm a Levite. Right? Now, let me hold that. Let me back. It doesn't say clear that he is. I'm making that based on, right? Okay. So let me clear it up, right? But at any rate, right? There's a lot of things that support that idea. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He's faithful and true. He's to God for the next 6,000 years. But Esau and Jacob, remember, Esau is an African brother, twin brothers. Now, what was the problem with Esau? He says, God said he loved Jacob, but he hated Esau. Because Esau didn't respect his inheritance. He sold it for a bowl of soup. It was all his. He didn't care for it, but he didn't respect it. He didn't cherish it. And that's the affliction that the Levites have. You see, they were Elijah. Elijah gave his life for them, put everything on the line. And look, they disrespect them and just pissed on him as soon as he was going around, turned away from just like that. See? How did he chase Elijah for 7 years? Because they wanted Master Muhammad. Scripture's clear about message of the covenant. Right here, he's not a Levite. He's coming to save their ass. Actually deliver them, give them the ladder out of here. He asks for anything. He's coming to give. He says this is free. It says in chapter 22, it's a free gift. Why? Because it says out of jealousy. Well, that's what Lucifer was perfect all his ways till jealousy got into him. That's why that's how you know two are the same. Because they don't care about, they don't take things serious. That's the affliction they have. And so they end up losing their inheritance because of it. Because it was theirs, by right. But they didn't care for it. But Jacob did. Jacob fought for it. He was willing to lie, steal, kill for it. And even though he was doing mischief and doing stuff, God still said, man, but he loved this. He loved me. Right? The other guy, he saying the prayers and everything else, but he don't give a damn about me. So who would you pick? Because he's not a liar. Jacob wasn't a liar, wasn't a thief. That's not his nature. But he was willing to do anything he could. Right? To get in God's good side. Get that inheritance. It was precious to him. Meant something to him. He was willing to do anything to get it. And he thought, man, give me a bowl of soup, man. That's why they're trying to tip you with reparation stuff now. That's why Farrakhan is so successful with them. He said, no, we stay here, man. Because they don't care about it was easy for him. Because they don't care about their promised land. You don't worry about that, man. Just get here. See? You don't see that. They should be seeking the message of the covenant. They should be wanting the promised land. He said, man, hell with that, man. We got to marry. We here. We Farrakhan. That's why it's easy to do it. Because if they cared about the covenant, they ain't willing to listen and say, man, hey, you tell us we ain't going to get, God promises that? That's the vision. Is that what I'm telling you? And you say, hey, we gonna get what we got here. Yeah, okay, man, we're going to go for that, man. Let's be a good American. Let's fight for the country. Let's fight for America. America belongs to us. See? F the promised land, we're going to take America. And that's Farrakhan's message. And they, boy, that hook, line, and sinker. Because they don't give a damn about their heritage. And then the message come along the same attitude. Don't care about it. You can't tell me how you can say how somebody care about somebody, how they handle it. See, because, we get hung up in all this bullshit with these devils talking, and we don't pay attention to action. Every action has an opposite equal reaction. Action, not word. Even though there's, that's what they say, action. And they've proven over and over again, they don't give a damn about whatever they did, they will handle it differently. They don't care about the depth of it, because it's their people lifeline. It's not elect. So they couldn't deceive the elect. It's their lifeline. So if your children out there and they drowning, you're gonna be out there and find some kind of way to on a lifeline. You're gonna go out there and swim or something. You're gonna go say, man, okay, man, I'm hungry, man. I'll be back in a few minutes. I have to go get me a McDonald's. Is that gonna be your attitude? House on fire. Okay, man. Hey, man, just say, hey, he could make us a touchdown, man. You be a hunt 24/7. The point is that you got a Shabazz. I don't have to worry about the elect. You got a Shabazz more care about the Levites. They care about themselves, because whole sacrifice is for them. Whole sacrifice is for them. And so the man, like I said, he went in and did it because that's another reason why you suggested mass promise Levi, because he said, man, based on their history, he said, man, it's a waste of time dealing with them. It's a waste of time. They ain't gonna do nothing. They ain't gonna do anything. It's a waste of time. So he has been three on demonology because of it. And he's proved it correct because they don't care about it. They didn't care about Elijah because that's what got him. That's why he just wrote him off, man. How they did Elijah like that? After he gave his life, went to prison, everything else. And they spit on him for 2 seconds when he was gone. That's where he got to deal with them. It says, and he proved right. 30-some years, sacrifice. He's not sacrificed for the elect. He sacrificed for them. That's what said he was dreadful, even going to that baptism, man. Damn, man, I gotta go and deal with them. Says God ended up hating them. I love Jacob, I hate Esau. Exodus says he ended up hating them. Moses ended up hating them. Quickly, they're going to start worshiping the golden calf after all the work Elijah did. Oh, man, well, I'm going to go back and I'm worshiping Prophet Muhammad. Elijah, I don't believe there's no messenger. What's wrong with him? That's why they got to go to tribulation. And will they make it? That's why it says when they came, it says, who are they and where they came from? Remember what elders say, who the hell are they? See? That's Levites. Come and get Master Muhammad came, the God came, Messenger came, Messenger covered. That's what? You give him a lifeline, and all they gotta do is grab it. They would throw it back in your face, amen, with all this. So they can't tell me they care about this message because the way they handle it, they don't handle it. They handle it like they don't give a damn about it. Say anything, right? Come out on the battlefield maybe once a week, or they ever come out at all. Can't even aim their weapon, distort stuff. When it's very simple, right? Pretty much just got to read what's said, and they won't do that. Just say what it says. If you can't do anything else, just repeat. You can't do that correctly. This has to be clear clearly, so people got to miss a lifeline. So if you tell somebody, hey man, you need to do this, you know, to get out of this building, you give instructions. You know, nobody hollering in the background, they can't hear what you're saying. How are they going to take you serious? You lead by example. Now, whether people like me or not, I got a 35-year example every day. Every day. If I miss a day, it's really something dramatic. And I'm not, like I said, I didn't have the American dream. I didn't have it. I turned the dream into a reality. I was following Elijah Muhammad's program. Once in my life, I kept his program going. And one thing, I never really said this in public, really. But the thing is that I tried to keep his message going, because like I had this mini mansion up in Orange, New Jersey, right? And it has a big piece of property, right? So they had a house, it was a 3-story house. I think we had about 5 or 6 bathrooms, whatever. Right, he had a sauna downstairs, built-in sauna, right? Pool room, and about 5 or 6 bedrooms. I guess I had a bunch of kids, right? I mean, it was a beautiful place. and I had my own office, right? And then I had another house that was part of, that wasn't attached. It was like about 20 yards away, right? And that's what the garage, because under was the house apartment, but under was the garage. But there was rooms upstairs, right? So somebody could live up there if they want to. So I used that for a temple. And I have temple meetings up there, trying to, tell people what the message was saying. So I never really got into that, right? And I put some book. That's before I got to the angel. I was trying to, and plus, like I said, I had my own business. Right? And I was buying and selling real estate. Right? I was jamming. I had money, bought money up. And then I ran to the angel. Ooh, didn't expect that one. And I did blink. When I realized what this was, I was just looking into it. I didn't know what it was. I said, it's a puzzle. So I told history about it, right? So let me think. I didn't know what this was about. I didn't know it was an angel. I knew a lot of them talked about it, but I never really gave any consideration to seal that kind of stuff. He talked about it. I guess he must knew what it was. Good enough for me. And I got into it and sealed and all that stuff. And I realized I was breaking the seals, and I said, "What the hell?" And knowledge brings about responsibility. So, oh man. And it hit me. I said, "Oh man, this is a life-changing experience. If I deal with this," and it wasn't gonna be no if. It was like, it didn't come out as an if. It came like, what the hell? See, because it wasn't no if, because once I knew it, couldn't have been an if, because that's not where I am. It's like I went looking for Elijah. That's not the first time it happened. I told you I had everything set in the military. I had all set, 4 years invested, and then I ran the thing by Elijah, and I dropped all that like hot potatoes and went looking for him. Had no idea what I was going to do. That's who I am. So it was a thing. I said, "Oh, what the hell?" And then I thought about the sisters. That came to my mind right away. And so there wasn't no ifs in it. Because I was always sensitive to these sisters, man, what these sisters were going through and everything else. Always sensitive. Even though I had some demon wives, but I didn't know they were demons. I didn't know the concept of demons at the time. I know now, right? So that's done over. Right? That's what it took. That's what it's looking Jonah. Said Jonah had everything going for him, and all of a sudden overnight it was gone. Everything going for him. He was happy with it. So I didn't have the American dream. I turned to reality. I was jamming. Had a need for plenty of money, new cars, kids going to private schools and everything. It was mellow. Except initially, right? That demon wife and whoa, that was distressing. She's gone. But then I found living my life, so we're doing fine now. Sometimes you have to realize a bad situation for you to appreciate a good one. Because after what I went through here, I really appreciate my wife now. I really appreciate her because, nobody better than mess with her. Right? Because, because if it wasn't for them, because ain't nowhere I'm going to let this one go. I told her, if you leave, I'm going with you. I ain't letting her go nowhere. I'm with her 100% because after what I went through with them, she's different between day and night. We ain't anything alike, but we're a perfect match. Right? So that's the situation, brothers and sisters. Right? But promises are made to them. And we keep up, where is bond? If they go to the Holocaust, right? who delivered them too. Now, I don't know if I was part of that promise or not, but that's a promise. Because 30 years is for them. It's not for the elect. 35 per year is for them. So the sacrifice being made. And the 40-some years Elijah was for them, not for the elect. Matter of Muhammad came for them. That's because he rose up Elijah for the elect. You're talking about Elijah would raise up the widow's son. It was two people that raised up something. Right? Jesus raised up Lazarus, and Elijah raised up the widow's son. He raised up the Levites, and he raised up the elect. Right? But they had to get the... But then he had to end up getting, because Elijah would leave, and then he had his son petition, then he had to come here to clean up the Levites. But how did he clean them up? With fire. Purify them. That's how you purify gold and silver, with the tribulation. Because they're difficult. Once they get pure, they'll be perfect. Once they get pure, once they get cleaned up, once they get their head right, they get their mind right. But it seems like it's impossible to get them there. And then you got the other situation, like I said, because the last final battle we have is going to be with Esau. Levites. Boy, it's Levites. Boy. Ooh. What's going on there? But as I said, things have changed now. There was a lamb, now it's a lion, now it's a flame. It can't be essence because you can't change diapers forever. You gotta get yourself walking sometime. And so right now it's over. Can't pay patty cakes anymore because tribulation is only seconds away. And they got to go through it. I'm not going through with them. So they want to play games. That's going to be hard for them. You don't make it, that's on them. But they don't show any appreciation for it all. The way they handle this message, or you got to check, see if you're doing it right. Like I get an analogy where you take, and you say, you don't trust your baby to anybody. You got to go someplace and here's somebody you trust. So you ain't got to tell them to change the baby's diaper. You ain't got to tell them to feed the baby milk. You ain't got to tell them to the baby sleep in a quiet place so the baby can get a full sleep. You have to tell them these things because right, they're going to do those things. But if you don't trust them, you got to say, well, you got to change. You got to give them a list. You got to change the diapers. You got to give them a list of everything. Then you got to check to see if they put a camera, see if they're doing it. Because one cares. So they're going to do it. They're going to do it because they care. It's like we knew our women was going to save us because we knew they cared about this nation. So we had to sit there and send them by prophets say, hey man, you got to sneak it. Do it. No, because we know their heart is for us. That's why I say they beating on these women. I know it make me sick. Because their heart, I ain't talking about, I know the demons ones out there. I mean, I'm not into beating. Well, let me just get away from that one because we can win. Amalek, I told you we're gonna get rid of all of them, right? But the thing is, they put everything on the line to save this nation. They did it. We didn't do it. They did it. We had no control over them at all. We had no control of their womb. They had very little control of their womb, and they didn't have to take our seed at all. Didn't have to. Master forced their seed into them. Hey brother, come on. And they didn't know if you was Levite. They didn't know they was Levite or elect. All they knew is you was black. You was America with them. But see to me, brother. Because a lot of them, if you watch some of those movies, when they was raiding one of those ships, and I think so, it took a month to get it, whatever. They found the prey. They thought they would jump overboard. They didn't want them babies. And a lot of them, when they got pregnant, if they thought they'd get away with it, they said, oh, the child was stillborn. They'd strangle it. They didn't want them babies. That's why Farrakhan's mother tried to abort his ass. She didn't want that devil baby. Tell the whole story, Farrakhan. You understand what I'm saying? But they want us. Because that's their nature. So they're hateful. They don't hate. If they hate us, they love us, we wouldn't be here now. It's very nature to love us. It's probably your nature to protect them and provide all their needs, all of them. But now you let the devil do it. See? Now I ain't blaming you. I'm just saying, they act out of nature. They didn't have their mind. So what's your excuse? See, they can condemn you because they say, I didn't have my mind when I was saving y'all ass. So you're telling them, well, I don't have my mind, so I was beating y'all up and everything else. Really? See, how you want to accept their excuse, but you want to accept yours? You see what I'm saying? They had their mind. They just showed that nature. So what you mean you don't have a nature to love them, to protect them? Because we don't see any evidence of it right now. They beating out women, raping them, and putting them in prison and all things, and got them working and Popeye, all kind of stuff. What are you doing? Sitting back at home watching damn NFL. When you gonna get home? Bring me some Popeyes. Are you a demon? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Their nature saved us. What's going on with you? We're gonna find in a minute. So Master Muhammad's gonna shut this crap down. But he can't give your mind back. I have to do that. See what happens. See where you're a demon or you're original. And if you're original, and your mind's so corrupt that we can't do anything for your ass, so you end up everlasting shame in the parliament. Okay? You're out there on drugs and everything else. So you done mess your mind so much that you can't do anything with you no more. So everlasting shame in the parliament. Or we give you to the I keep forgetting his name, the tyrant. Their nature saved us. That means their pure heart. They love this nation by nature. So, like at the gym, all the sisters at the gym hate me. They all hate me. They all hate me because I don't, I don't say anything to them. But I'm nice to them. They walk, open the door. Thank you. And they keep going. Because I ain't, because I'm keep to myself. Right? And I know if I start talking to them, they ain't want to hear what I'm talking about. So I just keep to myself. So they take that as like I don't like them or something. I love them. This one sister, she got up on the thing to pull up, right? And she had some strings. She put the little woman loop in there. Oh, because she's up there. So this is going to fall. So I went down there, I was in the gym and got this little stand they have and put it right there. Because I've been going to the gym for 7 years now, right? And she's been going about a couple of years, right? But we never talked. I never said anything to her, right? She wear those tight clothes and stuff, right? She's still my sister, and I love her. They don't know that, because I'm not outgoing like that. I've never been, even, that's why I'm surprised my wife ain't with me, because I grew up without a mother. I don't know that soft, warmy stuff, right? So I wasn't a cold person anyway. That's according to the way they think, because I never, I was in the hood, I hung out. Ain't nobody punked me, right? I hung out, I knew what was going on. I just, was standoffish. I was hermit. I rather be by myself, right? I'd be talking about science and stuff. They didn't want to talk about that kind of stuff, right? Right, so, and so I don't, right now, this conversation here right now, probably, I think if I took out of all the words in my whole life that I spoke with my wife, I probably won't be as much as I've just talked this right now, this the first presentation. She'll tell you it's true. I won't do it. I talk a little more lately, right? I normally did before in the past, right? That's just me. But these sisters, like I said, look at these sisters and I say, like I said, that was the thing. So I put a little stand for her when I was younger. And when she was coming down, right, she had to jump down the ground because she's up there, right? And she, oh, thank you. Right? So now I see she do a wave, because before I ain't waving nothing. So, because I care about it, but like I said, that's just me. Another sister, when sometimes I go out, she's going out, open the door for her, like, thank you. And that's the boys. She ignored me and all. Don't bother me. I understand his sister and I love him. And that's why I'm doing this. That's like I said, when I got to the point where I said, where I'm at here, and sister came across, man, somebody got to stand for these sisters because nobody else is doing it. And so that was case closed. It's a wrap. American dream, I didn't have merger, I had the reality turned back into a dream, a distant dream, faded. And all my energy and everything into this, 24/7, 365, 35 years now. And nobody standing on me saying, you better do this, do that. And the message is perfect, it's clean, it's clear, it's not distorted. And nobody standing over me telling me, you got to do this, you do it. Because I know this message depends, people's lives depend on it. So I can't F around with it. Can't play with it. Oh, I distort it. And one of the worst things you can do is to covet what we're living for, the vision that we're the war for, and then you F that up, get the names wrong and everything else. You don't mess with that. That's how. That's the hope. You don't mess with the vision. You don't start the vision. That puts sand in your eyes. Something I can't see. Levites don't give a damn. They prove it over and over again. Because the way they handle this, if they care about their hand with care, they make sure everything was right. And they don't have to go and figure it out. They should figure it out. They want to you upload it and then activate it. But even so, they don't, right? I mean, I said they had to figure out what's already been figured. They had to learn to live. Put it another way, it's already been figured out. Right? I already broke the seals, so all they got to do is understand what was figured out. They don't have to go and break the seals, so no one else could do it, because no one was worthy, because nobody was going to make the commitment like that. Nobody cared enough. That's what's they were. That's better than that. So all you had to do is do that. Right? Okay, here it is, the gift. Here's the book. Read it. You get somebody book, don't even read the damn book. They see the book laying on the floor over here. That man don't give a fuck about it. Oh, here you go out. You're gonna hear worse than that in a minute. Because you have to say that to get the point across. Because this is not a joke. Our people's lives depend on it. And so you pissing on it, playing games with it, right? Maybe I'll do something today, maybe I won't. Get names all mixed up. They got to go to a certain address, you get the address wrong. You see anybody stand over my shoulder 30-some years and still information's correct? Timely. Not distorted. And nobody's paying me. Not a dime, and never got a dime for this, never asked for a dime for it. So what's your problem? And you ain't got to go and figure it out. You ain't got to break the seals. You ain't got to give your whole life work and everything. And I said, there's no doubt. I mean, millions of dollars that passed through my hand when I was in my own business. Passed through, because I was spending money, buying houses and all that kind of stuff. But if I wasn't doing that, at this point in my time, if I had to run to engine, I'd be multimillionaire by now, for sure, no doubt. No doubt. And I bought one house. I had it for a year, right? And I bought it for $30,000, right? That's how I used that money to buy the mansion, right? And I took care of the house and everything. I sold for $120,000 about a year later. Because I knew what I was doing. I was taking care of business. This was out of my regular business. My business, I had contracts, sometimes 30, 40, 50, 60, $70 an hour. I think I had one contract that made $100 an hour, I think. Right? So one time I had 2 contracts going at the same time. And that's before they had remote. Because if I did it right now, I'd have 5, 6 people working for me because I could do it remote. I don't have to go into the office. I have my office right here. I have 2 or 3 people. I get the contracts coming. They call me all the time. They send emails all the time. Got a contract for you. I can't do that and do this. Get emails all the time. I can show them to you. In fact, when COVID came out, they was begging me because there's a language called COBOL. That's the language I learned, the first language I learned, right? And all the states in the country, they still were using the COBOL. That's an old system. They use different stuff now, right? But they were still using the old code. And they had to update those codes because they had to put out that whatever they was doing with the code, I forget. But their systems wasn't. They had to update their systems. Nobody knew how to do it because nobody knew that language. And I forgot what they needed for, but they kept coming. Man, hey, can you come over here? Can you come in? I mean, I could have cleaned up. Cause they was begging me, man. You know COBOL, man. Cause I'm on in the loop. I'm still in the network. They know me. But every time they contact me, I say I'm on a contract now. You know, stay active. They, are you still working on a contract? Yeah, I'm working on a contract. I can't do that right now. Nobody's asking anybody doing that. Just ask you if you're going to handle the message. If you're not going in and try to figure it out, try to break some verse right there, at least just echo it correctly. Just pay attention to what you're doing. You can't do that. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Okay, I got a little thing here going. Resonance. See, force, equal force rate. Now you got a rate, a force of, I shouldn't say equal there, but I'm just in general. Because we're talking about wavelength and frequency, all that kind of stuff, right? But force rate, the rate that you apply to force, I'm saying equal, but that's not quite correct, but I didn't want to go into a lot of detail. So scratch the equal right now. You have a force rate that you're applying. That's what resonance is all about. And absorption rate. So in other words, if you're hitting something, right? It's like if you jump in the water has a reaction rate. It goes also an absorption rate that absorbs that force and then it settles down. Now you throw a rock in the water and all of a sudden it will start rippling and then all of a sudden the water settles down. So that's the reaction, how long it takes to return back to normal. Right? So if it takes an hour to return back to normal, you hit it, but what if you hit it every 5 minutes? That means you're building that force up because it can't absorb it all yet because it takes an hour to do it. But you keep hitting every 5 minutes. That's resonance. So by the time the hour comes, right, the initial force that you hit it with, say, was 100 pounds, and you say 5, so what, 5 times 12 is 60, is that right? Yeah. So now you got 1,200 pounds by the time it absorbs the first one, so so that's going to be a big splash. That's what resonance is all about. Like you take a sidewalk and you take like a screwdriver and you keep hitting that sidewalk with that screwdriver, bam, 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 and constantly doing it, right? For maybe every 5 before, because concrete has an absorption rate. So you got to do it. You said absorption rate would take 5 minutes, right? So you're going to hit it every second. See? Then by the time that 5 minutes come, look how much force you have built up. You don't crack that concrete. I cracked it. That's resonance. That's what resonance work. That's the old commercial about the woman she made come and the glass broke. Resonance. Because the glass rate couldn't react fast enough. So it kept building and building up. So it was too much to break. That's resonance. Okay. So understand that. Okay, so let's look on. I got an example of resonance here. See this? Watch this. See, here's. I'm saying basically, See, our people in darkness. See, this the wall is blocking the darkness. It's the angel that's hitting it. So man hitting it. Constantly talking. Putting the word out, right? So it's dark here. It's light. He got the light here, but it's dark here because this is blocking the light. It's blocking the light from getting out here to our people. So what are they doing? Time hit. Before the reaction rate could absorb it, so you keep hitting it. So before it's building up. Bam. And finally, that's the whole idea behind, right, the walls of Jericho. That same story. Told us 7 days, keep saying the same thing over there. So that's what Suleiman's doing. And so what, take 30 years to do it? Force keep on, gonna break that resistance, hitting it. And then finally, it breaks. That's why it says, people in darkness see the great light. They finally see, but how does it happen? It says, this gospel preached to all the world. How is that? You have to get the whole, because there's resistance to it right now. But it said, then it will come once that happens. So that's his mission. Just keep putting that word out there. Don't stop. Because if you stop, then you got to start all over again. So you're hitting that with the screwdriver, then you take a break, right? And then, oh no, it's absorbed. It's react. Now it's react. So you got to start all over again. So you got to keep doing this before they can absorb it. Because see, the world is getting react to all this. They got to keep on hitting it before they can react to it. Not react, but absorb it. That's the math behind it. That's why it says, then the end will come. See, he's preaching all the world. It's not preaching all the world now because he has to break. Now the light lights up the whole world. That's why those who resist it, they're gonna be crushed. Ben X, Wesley, so-called Son of Man, all you clowns. Right? That's the way it works, brothers and sisters. Just keep on. See the world changing. Why is the world? Because they feel the pressure. Remember that thing start getting red every time you hit it? So I'm feeling it. It's building up. It's about to break. It's about to break. Is that what Master Rama is waiting for? I don't know. He has to make his call. But it's about to break. Because we know it's in this time frame where you see the world. And right now, the world is about to break. Right now, every whole of the world, everybody's saying, if you listen to what they're saying carefully, they're saying the confrontation between America and Iran could cause world war, could destroy the communist world. They tell you that one event I've been telling you about for years. Why is all this? You never heard that before? You never heard anything before. Now you're talking about Ukraine. They're talking, if Iran and America gets into it, right, that could have global regional war and global implications. It could bring down the communists of all. Did you notice that? That means that about to break. Because that's what's going to happen. I told you, and it has to happen because I told you how the universe works. Okay? And that's what happened. When it breaks, all of a sudden the resurrection comes, all this stuff happens. See, I know you don't see. You should see this by now if you've been studying, but I don't know what you're doing. Let's look at something else and I'm going to close out, brothers and sisters. See right here. Now, when you're distracted, okay, say for instance, you might get the same spot. So you can't get the same spot all the time because you focus on the same thing. You can't focus on something else because then this will happen. So, okay, he's in the same spot here. Boom. All the pressure's going there. Right? So you're building up. But what if you take and say, okay, I'm going to hit 2 spots? Take longer. Why? Because you're dividing the force. Now you put 1,000 pounds per square inch. Now you put 1,000 per every 2 square inches. That means it's 500 per square inch now. You diminish your power by half. So you're not going to get the resonance result that you thought you were going to get. It won't take much longer if it happens at all. Because you got to keep focusing on that same point, same point. See? Because pressure, when you spread out, that means it's not forcing it. It's still force, but it's a different force. Because if you take a metal rod that's 1,000 pounds, you put it on one point in the floor, and the floor probably can't handle that, so it's going to go right through. Because you're putting 1,000 pounds like a broomstick, stand up on one square inch of the floor. The floor probably couldn't withstand it. It's too much. But what if you take it and you was able to bend it so you can put right on 2 square inches? Now, the floor might handle it. Where it couldn't handle 1,000 pounds per square inch, probably can handle 500 pounds per square inch. See what I'm saying? Because you spread it out. So let's see what this means. You see here, right here? You see the one, right? See? That's the people that claim to be helping me. Now, if they're helping me, right, then this is what happened. Okay? That means they're going to increase the force on that. Like the resonance, it's going to make it even better because now I'm hitting harder than I was before. Same point, hitting harder. So that's going to make it happen earlier, hitting harder. If they're with me, they doing, they care about the message as much as I do. Maybe not as much as I do, but the point is they folks and they doing it right. They taking care of them. They taking care of. Because I don't think anybody will take care of a mother's baby more than the mother. They can still take care of it properly. If they're doing it properly, then see that we're doing this. What happens this way? But what if they in front distraction? No, they ain't doing it right. They're out doing their own thing, all this kind of stuff, right? See what happens. They slow it down. They're slowing the whole thing down. So the impact is not going to be as great. Like, you hitting it, this might start holding your hand. Now it's harder. Okay? Slow it down. Because they're resisting. Because you got to keep watching what they're doing, everything else. They're slowing it down. Because I should put all my effort in doing this, put this presentation together, I got to watch what they're doing, and all this stuff. They're slowing it down. Look at this other case here. Now, what if there's in the way? Distraction. Doing stuff all messed up and everything all the time. Then what happens? Now you're hitting at another point somewhere. You ain't going anywhere. Nothing's going to happen here. You rock it a little bit, that's bit. Because now you throw you off. And that's what's happening here. Because I shouldn't have to be watching, look at this, comment on that and everything else. Because if they cared about it, they wouldn't have those problems. If you cared about the baby, right, the baby would be hollering because he needs a diaper change. Be hollering because he needs some milk. Or he's got the runs because you, instead of giving milk, or you didn't make sure his milk was fresh, sour milk. Because you didn't give a goddamn. Because those things would not happen. Mother take care of baby. You don't come and say, oh man, the baby, look at that baby walking around with crap in his. No, you must see that. Baby's gonna be clean. Diapers gonna take care of. Baby's gonna be fed. Happy and laughing. Nicely clothes, warm. Nice bed, nice room. You don't have to tell the person that. Or you gotta be telling the person that. That means you don't care. I mean, did you change the diaper? Did you give a baby? Did you give him a bath? Give him some milk? You make sure the milk is fresh? You come in and they're supposed to give milk. Oh, I gave him some apple juice. You're supposed to give him apple juice. Give him milk. You see? Because they don't care. Why you getting upset, man? Why something? See? That's the attitude they got. Man, I'll take care of the baby. What's your problem, man? The baby's, she's alive. That's the attitude. But somebody care about that baby, you ain't got to tell them anything. Just hit. And you go on about your business. You know, when you come back, that baby's gonna be just like you gave her. But that's not what the experience I'm giving the angel. This problem, that problem, this. I twist this around. This name is changed, right? I'm adding this, right? I'm people hollering in the background and all this shit. And I gotta keep watching and seeing what you're doing, all that kind of stuff. You ain't with the angel. I don't give a damn what you say. You're not with the angel. If you can't apply basic knowledge on that, then you should be out here anyway. Because that's simple. Anybody understand that. I'm sure any mother would understand it. Because you know, she don't get no baby somebody that she was not sure that they care about that baby. The only way she do it is she don't give a damn about the baby. And she knows that she have to go and tell the person all the things to do, that she know that maybe she didn't have a baby with that person. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there, brothers and sisters. Let me check one more thing, see if I oops. I left anything out here. So I'm pretty much good with the Levites, but not totally through. I made a promise to him. I'm gonna stick with it all the way up until the time I get to the taking it in a while. But it's hard. The promise is made and the promise we kept. See? Let's keep your word. Okay? And I showed that we made a promise we keep. Not only that we should keep our word, because I'm not a Levite. Didn't have to do it. That's the word. And show that we cared, right? Because I didn't have to. Broke seals, I was in 35 years, talking to Levites. Put everything online. Put everything. 100%. Everything. Of value. Now, you might say the value now, but at that time it was very valuable to me. American, that was valuable to me. That's Elijah Muhammad's program. Do for self. That showed I care. Especially for the sisters, like that showed I care. And plus, the word is bond. That bullshit they talking about. And the promise is true. They're the ones that are lying over there. Okay? So that's the proof. Because they say, why would I spend 35 years doing something? I put everything online, sacrifice everything I had. Even going for Elijah. I put 4 years in the military. I mean, that was a hard 4 years. And I walked away from that like with nothing. But I didn't know it was a Levite thing at that time, right? But 35 years. Constantly going, no matter what. Every day, 24/7. And I don't give no half-assed presentations. Just throw something, come and just talk. I prepare. If you think the presentation is easy, why don't you do them? It takes time to put these things together. Think through putting together, make them work. It takes time to do that. And then think of a subject. And be timely. And then be right. That shows love and care. Like I said, I'm going to say as I'm closed, brothers and sisters. I said before, I never told my wife, and she never told me either. Never used the word love. I did about a month ago. Was laying there and I said, you're my favorite. I love you. She looked at me like I was crazy. Because she never heard that words come out of my mouth. Right? What's going on here? Oh. I never heard the word come out of my mouth either. I know she does. She don't have to say it. Because of what she does. How she takes care of me, how she takes care of things, how she handles things. Right? We had a little disagreement about the children because, but I don't have to say it. I know she does. She don't have to tell me. Now she looked like I was crazy when I said it. Where'd that come from? She told me last night, you acting crazy these days. You acting weird. Right? But I do love her. I don't have to tell her. My actions prove it. And she knows she's safe and secure with me. She has no worries or nothing. She doesn't have to worry about anything. She's not nervous. She's not anxious or anything. She doesn't have to worry about food, clothes. She doesn't worry about anything. Everything is covered. And she knows you go in. And she knows nothing's going to happen to her unless they have to take me out first. She knows these things. Because of actions, not because blah, 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 blah. What happened? Where's... Oh, that's what I was looking for. What's going on? Oh, that was one. Okay. This little offside, 666, it's clear who they are. Because it said the weapon would be sanctions. It's going to backfire. Because when this war breaks out and America's on his knees, they're going to be begging everybody to help me. Everybody going to say, F you. They're going to be sanctioned by the whole world. It says no one will help them. No one will help them. It says in Daniel, but you understand. Daniel's pronouns, you think you don't know who they're talking about. So now they're going to be sanctioned. They will get no help from anybody. So I'll talk about that more another time. Assalamu alaikum. Like I was praying.